Welcome to the Leadership in Law podcast with host Marilyn Jenkins. Cut through the noise, get actionable insights and inspiring stories delivered straight to your ears. Your ultimate podcast for navigating the ever-changing world of law firm ownership. In each episode, we dive deep into the critical topics that matter most to you, from unlocking explosive growth to building a thriving team. We connect you with successful firm leaders and industry experts who share their proven strategies and hard-won wisdom. So, whether you're a seasoned leader or just starting your journey as a law firm owner, the Leadership in Law podcast is here to equip you with the knowledge and tools you need to build a successful and fulfilling legal practice.
Welcome to another episode of the Leadership in Law podcast. I'm your host, Marilyn Jenkins. Please join me in welcoming my guest, Colleen Joyce, to the show today. As CEO of Lawyer.com and founder of the Lawyer Growth Summit, Colleen transformed a simple idea into an 8-figure legal powerhouse. A recognized voice in legal marketing and technology, she champions innovation that helps lawyers grow smarter and faster while building communities of attorneys, thought leaders, and industry experts. Known for spotting opportunities ahead of the curve and forging impactful partnerships, Colleen's mission is to equip lawyers with the tools, knowledge, and connections they need to thrive in a rapidly evolving industry. I'm excited to have you here, Colleen. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm excited for a fun conversation.
Absolutely. Tell us a little bit about your leadership journey to get started.
Yeah, so it happened quite organically. When we started Lawyer.com, it was just me in the room. I was working with our parent company, and I started quickly figuring out that I needed help. So then I started to hire people, and then I realized I did that wrong.
Okay.
So I learned a lot by doing and failing and pivoting and trying again. I am the opposite of the textbook. I love reading. I love seeing what other people are doing and talking about. But sometimes I just have to learn my own mistakes.
That is true. I think that, but not being afraid to pivot is a good thing.
No. 100%. We're always trying to move and evolve and change because, listen, now more than ever, we live in such a fast-paced world where if you don't do that, you'll just get run over and forgotten about.
True. Absolutely. So you turned a simple idea into an 8-figure legal platform. What leadership decisions do you think made the biggest difference in that growth?
Yeah, I think just piggybacking off is you have to be able to pivot, right? First of all, we had to do the market research, and that's 101, right? What's out there? What's needed? It's really great to have an idea, but you have to make sure that the market wants that. And that was really a big, important factor for us is, okay, people do need lawyers. They don't need a lawyer every day, right? If you're in the medical world, you need a doctor maybe once a year at a minimum. It's a little bit different. So how do you grow and build a brand when you may not meet a lawyer every 5 years or every 10 years. So I feel like when we were first learning about growing and building and even leadership, it was like, okay, we have a very unique group of people we're trying to get after. How do we fit into that world and what does that look like for us?
I see. And it was obviously you've evolved over time. So when you first started, were you regional or did you go national?
No, actually, we went national. We threw up a directory and we said, all right, great. And all of a sudden the phone started to ring and it was like, I need help finding a lawyer. And I'd be like, oh, okay. And then I was like, let me start Googling lawyers. And then I was like, wait, I have this whole directory here. I don't have to Google anyone. I have all the answers. I have the ability to make that match. And that's when you layer in technology and special sauce and secret ingredients and all that kind of stuff, right? But we, from day one, went national with 129 practice areas, really focused on the consumer who needs a lawyer like me and like you.
I love that. Yeah, it being a place where someone can go and find that, it just saves having to go through a lot of, because there's some groups on LinkedIn that it's just a lot of noise. It's not helpful at all. With Lawyer.com, you go straight there and you get your answers.
And the thing is, and again, I've needed a lawyer myself, so I've been through the process where I have to like cold call lawyers, and that's hard, especially when I'm not in the right mindset, right? Like it's not like I'm calling the lawyer because I just won $80 million, right? Maybe that person exists, but I'm going through something and now I have to do more work to get a positive result. So that's what I love about Lawyer is that, okay, you come to lawyer.com and we do that hard work for you. So you eliminate the pain of dialing and not getting any results.
And you vetted the attorneys as well. So everybody in there. Yep,
Yes.
exactly.
Yeah, we make sure everyone's in good standing with the state bars. And then that's the rule of thumb we live by.
I love that. Now, you often say that growth begins with decisive entrepreneurship. What does decisive leadership look like in law firm setting?
Yeah, I think you have to just make a decision. And we talked about this. I had a conversation yesterday. The decision doesn't have to be right, but you have to make a decision and you have to make one quick. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't pivot from that decision, but I think what happens a lot is that people labor over what is going to be the right decision. And you miss that window when you should have just quickly decided. So around here, we have a theory where it's like ready, fire, aim.
I love
right?
that. Yes, yes.
It's not, we do everything by the book, and I'm not trying to skirt anything, but just do. Just try something. Execute. You have your core values, you're within your boundaries, your guidelines, go. What's the worst that's going to happen? It's going to fail? Okay, great. Pivot and try avenue 2. And that's a big factor of our success here.
Yeah, I agree. You can get lost in that when they call it analysis paralysis. Just make a decision and move forward because you're not moving at this point.
It's so true. And it's like, I'm working on a project now, actually, and I have analysis paralysis because I have too many options. And it's so personal to me that I just can't pull the trigger. And I got to just friggin' do it because I'm wasting time. And what's the worst that's going to happen? I edit it.
Yeah. Rip the Band-Aid off. Just move forward.
100%. That's our advice to anyone listening. Just try it.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. It makes sense. Again, you get stuck in the one thing that we talk to people that had talked to us in the past about marketing. 6 months later, it's like, how are those goals coming along? Yeah. And guess what? They're in the same place they were 6 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where do you see law firm leaders hesitate the most, and how does that hesitation limit their growth?
Yeah, so we get to work. I'm not an attorney, so that's the fun part for me. So we get to really operate in a startup mentality and function, whereas I think law firms may be a little bit more conservative than I am because they're lawyers, right? They're trained to be more conservative. So I think that where we're seeing a change now is that you're finding more law firms are run as businesses instead of run as law firms. So I've met dozens of COOs of law firms in the last year, where 6 years ago, I probably met 4. So what we're seeing is that we're now having the COO running the firm, running the operation, and letting the lawyers do what they're best at, which is practicing law, and they're handling everything else. And I think that that's going to be the biggest shift we see moving forward, and what makes a law firm successful is having that structure, which is something I'm sure you speak to very often.
Yeah, so you're seeing more, and I'm seeing the same thing, more COOs as opposed to office managers. It's that one step in the C-suite to run the firm.
Yep. And it works. They're in charge of making sure hiring, firing, culture, everything, metrics, KPIs, they're in charge of it. You as the attorney do not need to be in charge of it. You need to be in charge of what you do best.
And what you enjoy.
And what you enjoy. I feel like you nailed it on that, right?
Yeah.
We love what we love to do.
Yeah, exactly. And you said, so let's jump in the community aspect. I love what you're doing here. You said community is the new competition. What does it mean for lawyers who are used to viewing peers as rivals?
Yeah, I think we live in such an amazing industry in legal right now, and together we elevate together. And I really strongly believe that because there's so much that we can learn from each other, whether we're competitors or if we're living in the same space. At the end of the day, it's the consumer who gets to decide who they want to work with, right? There's so many factors. Yes, you could have the best marketing, you could have the best branding, whatever it may be. At the end of the day, it's the consumer who's going to decide who they're going to hire, right? So why not join together and be the best that we can for the consumers that we're here to help? And I do think together, we're able to provide that amazing value to consumers out there who need help.
And I think the community is the sharing, like we talked about before we started
Yeah.
recording. It's just, we have to look at things as, are you really my competition? Is
Yeah.
there enough market that we can work together and grow together? A rising tide lifts all boats, I think is the saying.
Yeah. And it's true though, and we see it. So it's like, you see it in other industries play out. Why can't it happen in legal? Why can't we help each other? Lawyers co-counseling with each other. They're on both sides, but then they're playing golf or they're having drinks. Like, we can learn so much more together than we can individually.
Agreed. And talking about authentic communities, how can firms build authentic communities that actually lead to referrals or partnerships and not just networking events?
Yeah, I think it has to be very organic, right? You need to find something that works for you. I don't love small talk because it's okay, we've done this. I can't talk about the weather anymore. Like, I don't care about the snow. You can have it. You have to find somebody that has that same core values that you have, right? What drives me? I want to find people like me, right? Because that's where my community is. And it could be very different than the person next to me. I think finding first of all, who you are and what you want, and then matching that energy out there.
I had an interview a few months ago with someone. We were talking about lawyers volunteering in their community and what do you do? And her answer was just like yours, organic. What do you enjoy? Some enjoy golf, some enjoy tennis. It just depends. Find what you enjoy and then make your community there. And do you find like the role of collaboration, is it easier for attorneys these days to find a collaboration in the legal market instead of competition type thing? Are they seeing it differently?
I think so. And it's funny, I used to be so anti-social media in legal. I was like, it's stupid, blah, 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 blah. Now I'm like all about it because I think that's a big part of what you're saying, right? That's a whole network out there where you're able to see who people are and collaborate with them, right? Learn from them and then say, oh, okay, let's connect on that together. We were talking about this earlier. Just because I'm a personal injury attorney or an estate attorney in Florida doesn't mean I can't share ideas with the guy in California. We could run similar campaigns that work.
True.
We have different consumers, different eyeballs. Why reinvent the wheel? Let's learn together. And I'm a big fan of that.
It plays into the mentorship that's built into law firms. The legal industry mentorship is massive, coaching, but within a firm, mentorship, so it's not very different from that. Just expand your network.
Yeah. A big part of any industry is who you know, right?
Yeah.
The more people you know, the better opportunities that you're going to get. And it took me a while to get on that train. And I will say, since I've been on board, it's been a game changer. So it definitely works.
True. So one of the things that we run into issues with is intake, first impressions, those kinds of things. And you've emphasized that intake is the first impressions, firms that they underestimate that. What are the most common intake mistakes that you see?
There's so many. So it's funny. I always like to just get back into the business. So I try to do everybody's job. Not well, but I do try. So I think it was a couple of weeks ago, I jumped on the phone as an intake rep just so that I could understand, so that I could have this conversation. And step one is answering the phone, right? So many times the phone just goes unanswered. And I know I'm such a broken record saying this, but step one is answer the phone. Step two is just be kind, right? I talk to people who, the mother unfortunately passed away. It was a wrongful death case. I had somebody looking to file for Social Security disabilities, somebody looking to get a divorce, custody with 3 kids. These are people that could have been my mom, that could have been my sister, right? Compassion is so important when it comes to intake. That doesn't mean that I have to hear their whole life story and spend hours laboring over a case that we're not going to take. But that doesn't mean up front I can't be compassionate, answer the phone, show them that I care, and help them. And I think that goes a long way. I listen to a lot of our phone calls, and just having a warm tone, paying attention really makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because when you're multitasking, hey, how you doing? What can I do to help you? The person feels that.
True.
Instead of just like truly being invested. So again, they are the solo and small firms that are doing everything themselves. Then there's the big firms with the COOs. They know that. They're doing that. I'm going to talk to the solo and small guys, right? Listen to your phone calls. It will be probably the most painful experience you have, but it is a learning experience, and don't shy away from that.
Agreed. Just the answer your phone thing is super important. The Better Business Bureau says 67% of phone calls to small businesses go unanswered.
Yep. Oh, and if what do you think happens if you don't answer your phone call? Where am I going?
Somewhere else.
To the next lawyer, right?
Because you clearly have a need. People reach out to an attorney on many times the worst day of their life. So you have to have that compassion and connect with them. And whether you can help them out.
And they could be on their lunch. Yeah, like they're on their lunch break. They don't have much time in their car, on the stair, whatever it may be. So step one, answer the phone. Step two, just be nice. I know it sounds very silly and not very sophisticated, but it goes a long way.
Agreed. And how do you think poor intake experience impacts trust before an attorney even speaks to a potential client?
Oh, absolutely. You are the front line. You're the person answering the phone is truly the front line. They're the first voice of your brand.
Mm-hmm.
So they are there to set the standard for what's going to happen after. And it's very difficult to backtrack if they've had a bad experience. Very quickly, they're like, oh, that guy was crap. I'm going to go leave a bad review. So you see that's happening. So it's more than just losing a client. It could be having a bad review, word of mouth, all of those things that you absolutely don't want. And it's going to be hard to backtrack from that.
Yeah, that's the first step in world-class service, in getting those 5-star reviews.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So you talk a lot about speed to lead as a trust builder. Why does response time matter so much in today's client journey?
Yeah, everybody wants everything instantly. We live in a world where there's shorts everywhere, right? It's TikTok, it's Instagram, it's Google Shorts, YouTube. I actually just read today that Google has a feature, or YouTube has a feature, where you could turn off shorts for kids for this exact reason.
Oh.
Because we are now programmed to, if we don't get an instant answer result within 10 seconds, so how does that refer into the world of intake? It's just the same, right? If you don't get a response immediately, if you don't stop the shop, they're going to the next person. And I'm not saying that the lawyer has to drop everything they're doing to talk to the consumer. Answer the phone, set the expectations. You can even schedule an appointment, right?
Right.
Then everything is still on your timeline. You're not being interrupted doing your work, right? But you've stopped the shop.
And then when a lead comes in, your intake person should immediately get on it. That's our speed to lead, is it's immediately, as quickly as possible. And I think what a lot of attorneys or anyone who uses local service ads didn't realize until just recently, when a lead comes through, the last step on that was, would you like this information is sent to 4 other firms?
Yep.
So you might have paid for that lead, but 4 other people have an opportunity for it. Speed the lead.
And what we saw with LSAs, just to that, is so Google knows, right? When that phone rings, when they place the call, they know that it took you X time to answer or not answer.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going to happen is they're pushing you out. They're going to start throttling you because they'd rather get the lawyer who's answering the phone.
Correct.
So
it's user experience.
But it makes sense. Yeah. It's what I would want.
Yeah. And the whole thing about,
sucks.
Yeah, exactly. And, the attorneys that have 24 hours on their listings, but they don't answer the phone after 5, they're going to be throttled back as well.
And you've seen that.
Yeah.
Google do no harm, right? That's their motto, their logo. And they want to be consumer first. And they said, no, you're not open 24/7. No, that's not really your office. That's a Regis location. Boom, you're gone.
True.
And that's detrimental to traffic.
Exactly. What systems or habits help firms respond quickly without burning out their teams?
Yeah, I think that you need, like you said, and I think this really starts with coaching, right? You need to sit down and say, okay, what are the systems and processes that we have right now? So yes, you need a phone system. Yes, you need a CRM. Yes, you need a client management portal. You need to really sit down and identify what are the technology, what are the tools that you're using. And there are amazing people out there that are running these organizations that are dying to help you, but you need a plan, right? And I think that's where talking to other lawyers, hey, what are you using? Or hey, has this helped? Being in masterminds, that all really makes that smooth process Because once you get the consumer on the phone and you're nice to them, okay, now what do you do? And that part, that's where the work comes in.
Systems. I love that. That is so underestimated or undervalued. So let's jump to AI and tech. I just want to get your opinion of this. So I love this. Many lawyers worry that AI is going to replace that human relationship. How do you see technology amplifying rather than replacing connection?
Yeah, big fan of this topic, big fan of AI not replacing lawyers. It's a tool that they can use. It's a tool to be more efficient, to be more effective, to fill the holes that you don't like to do. You put the AI to work, right? And I think that at the end of the day, it's going to help the consumers. Not every consumer who needs a lawyer is able to find a lawyer. We all know that. But now with AI, you're giving consumers the power of information. They can actually now go to a ChatGPT or a Gemini and say, help me understand this. Now, just hear me out on this, because I know people are already like, oh my God, shut up. The thing is, you're giving them information. They still need a lawyer.
Yeah.
They are now going to be more qualified. When that phone rings, the consumer, who is now more educated as a result of AI, is now a more qualified client. That's an even better situation. So I don't see AI replacing lawyers.
No, I don't either.
It's going to make you more effective, obviously. We're using AI every day, all day, and it's amazing. It's information, it's power, it's speed. And I think that I got to give the lawyers credit. They are adopting this like I've never seen before.
I'm surprised at how quickly as well. There's so much skepticism in the beginning, but put your guardrails up and use it to be more efficient and make your team more efficient.
And like what I love is there are so many, right? There's so many AI companies out there right now. Try them all.
Yeah.
Because what works for your friend may not work for your office, and that's fine. Go see what everybody's doing. I love when you hear that the lawyers are now starting their own AI companies.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of lawyers that are out there right now on market that have started their own AI companies to plug a pain point that they had in their practice.
Yes. I know a few that made their own agents and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah. I think just getting your team used to using it and using it as a tool. Yeah. Now, across my team, we have 3 favorites. So it depends on what the task is, right? And then
I know that my hard part is since day one, I've been a ChatGPT loyal diehard, and I really need to move into Claude. That's what everybody here is. So I was like, ChatGPT, can you tell me everything you know about me, and download it into a PDF? I then was able to upload it to Claude and be like, Claude, my name is Colleen. I'm new. Here's everything that ChatGPT says they know about me. Because it's really hard. I built so much history with ChatGPT, and the stickiness there, they're genius because I can't leave.
Yeah, true. I have an agent set up that's my board of directors.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
It's just amazing feedback. I agree that there's so much more use to it than just doing tasks.
Yeah. Oh, that's so 2003.
Yeah. So if a firm wanted to adopt tech or AI this year, what's the smartest first step to ensure it improves both efficiency and client experience?
Yeah, I think you have to understand what it is that you need. Where's your hole, right? What are you trying to fix? Then go Google, go ask ChatGPT or Claude, hey, listen, who are 4 legal tech companies that can help me solve this problem? Go do a demo with all 4 of those companies and see what you learn. Take everybody's free advice. I do it all the time, every time I talk to a lawyer, right? You take everything, all that knowledge, bring it back to the table and say, all right, guys, these are our options. What's going to work best for us?
Love that. Making a decision. So let's talk a little bit about your Lawyer Growth Summit. So this is an amazing community, great speakers. Tell us about what's coming up in 2026 and how people could get involved.
Yeah, we're very excited. This is going to be our 3rd year. It's all very growth centric. We are in our growth era ourselves. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a law firm. Don't care. I'm still trying to grow. I'm still scaling. I still have the same issues that a law firm has. I have employment issues. I have culture issues. I have client retention issues, sales issues. Okay, great. Let's find out who are the best of the best out there in the industry to help us, guide us to how are we going to grow our firms in the next year. So we are in the process right now of putting our stage together. We try to bring in really unique, different speakers who are experts in their area that can come to stage and tell us. And it's very much, it's not so much talking, right? We can all talk. I want actionable items. Go tell me to sign up for Reddit and increase my karma score. I had no idea what that was until I heard Chris Dreyer talking about it. And I was like, I don't have a Reddit. I don't have a karma score. Now I think we have 100 karma score, which I think we're getting there. But it's like little nuggets of that is that what you're going to get on stage at LGS. We also, as you said, we have this amazing community that we've built of people who want to be there, like-minded, grow. We grind like heck during the day learning, and we have these epic experiences at night that are just so much fun. The Backstreet Boys have been so kind to do a concert at the Sphere the final night of LGS.
There you go.
Just the timing. I know they did it for us, obviously, not for everybody else. So the full idea is, hey, listen, let's work and let's go have fun and play in Vegas. And if you want to grow your law firm, if you want to be around people who have grown their law firm, give us a call.
Okay. And I looked at the website and it's at the Fontainebleau this year.
This is our third year at the Fontainebleau.
Wow.
I'm obsessed. Mainly because it's not a lot of walking.
Right. That's the thing in Vegas, right?
Now, you're secluded, so you can't leave, which is another check. So we don't have competition. But they just opened it 3 years ago. A spectacular hotel. Just top notch.
This has been a great conversation, Colleen. I know that my listeners are going to reach out to you, connect with you, get involved with lawyer.com or the Lawyer Growth Summit. Where would be the best place for them to do that?
Yeah. So I'm on LinkedIn, Colleen Joyce. My email is colleen@lawyer.com. So if you have any question, want to chat, want me to make decisions for you, send me an email.
All right. Great. We'll make sure all of that's in the show notes. And again, thank you so much for your time today. This has been really a fun conversation.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks for joining me today for this episode. As we wrap up, I'd love for you to do two things. First, subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss an episode. And if you find value here, I'd love it if you would rate it and review it. That really does make a difference in helping other people to discover this podcast. Second, you can connect with me on LinkedIn to keep up with what I'm currently learning and thinking about. And if you're ready to take the next step with a digital strategist to help you grow your law firm, I'd be honored to help you. Just go to lawmarketingzone.com to book a call with me. Stay tuned for our next episode next week. Until then, as always, thanks for listening to Leadership in Law Podcast, and be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss the next episode.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Leadership in Law Podcast. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. There's a whole community of law firm owners out there facing similar challenges and striving for the same success. Head over to our website at lawmarketingzone.com. From there, connect with other listeners, access valuable resources, and stay up to date on the latest episodes. Don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, keep leading with vision and keep growing your firm.